Hey, good evening watchers, and welcome to another film review tonight. Movies, all the Fallen movies, the Olympic ones. The first one is the Olympus Has Fallen, so I'm going to review all three films of the series. I got this off eBay, so it's like great, you know. So a film that was released in 2013. I'm reading it on here, so I might as well do a bit of. Released in the United States in March the 22nd, 2013 by Film District, grossed $170 million against $70 million production budget. It's not bad. Made $100 million. So it's directed by. There's another one called White House Down. I should remember that film is actually enjoyable, but this film was bar. Olympus Has Fallen. Who's the director? I can't remember. So the running time's 119 minutes. United States, not bad though. Made a budget, so it's 70 million and made a budget of 170 million. That's not bad. That's pretty good. So it was directed by, who was it directed by? Anton Fuqua. Anyway, so I'm just reading off here. So the plot is former US Army Ranger Mike Bannon is played by Gerard Butler, who does a really good job, is a Secret Service agent signed to be the chief of the US presidential detail, maintaining a personal friendly relationship with President Benjamin Asher, First Lady Margaret, and their son Connor. On a snowy Christmas drive from Camp David to a campaign fundraiser, the car transporting the first family spins out of control in an icy bridge. Bannon pulls Asher from the vehicle but fails to save Margaret as she falls to her death. And the two drivers, of course, they get killed. The driver and the 18 months later, Bannon works at the Treasury Department, having been removed from the presidential detail. During Asher's meeting with South Korean Prime Minister Tae-wo at the White House, the Koreans for the United States, United Freedom, KUF, a North Korean terrorist group led by Yoon Sak, mounts an air attack with an AC-130 gunship. The hundreds of assault mercenaries to capture the building and kill most of the White House defense force. Aided by rogue members of the Prime Minister's own detail, including former Secret Service agent, private contractor Dave Forbes, who they hold Asher and several top officials hostage by the PEOC. Lee is executed on live video before being killed. Agent Roma alerts Secret Service Director Lynn Jacobs that Olympus Has Fallen. Bannon joins the White House's defenders during KUF's initial assault. He falls back into the White House, disable internal surveillance and gaining access to Asher's satellite airphone, which he used to maintain contractor Jacobs and the Speaker of the House, Alan Trumbull, now acting president in the Pentagon's emergency briefing room. Kang uses Asher's hostage status to form Trumbull to withdraw from the 7th Fleet and US forces from the Korean Peninsula, thus removing American opposition to a third Korean War. He seeks to detonate the nuclear arsenal, turn the United States into a irradiated wasteland in revenge of his mother's death. To this, he needs to access codes to the Cerberus system held by Asher, Secret of Defense Ruth Macmillan, and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs Admiral Joseph Hoenig, whom are inside the PEOC. Asher orders Macmillan and Hoenig to reveal the codes to save their lives, certain that he will not give up his code. Authorized to proceed, Bannon's first act to save Connor, whom Kang plans to use force Asher to reveal his Cerberus code. Bannon finds Connor hiding in the building's walls and seeks him to safety. On the reconnaissance, Bannon kills several of the terrorists, including Forbes, Army Chief of Staff General Edward Clang, convinces Trumbull to order an aerial seal assault on the White House. The CUF discovers the assault force and activates the advanced Hydra 6 anti-aircraft system. Kang retaliates by executing Vice President Charlie Rodquaz, whatever his name is. After the Bannon disables Kong's communication, Kang tries to execute Macmillan outside the White House in front of the media, but Bannon rescues her. Bannon takes out most of the KUF as they retreat back to the bunker, with the KUF dwindling. Kang fakes and Asher's death by sacrificing several of his commanders and remaining hostage in a helicopter explosion. Bannon sees through the ruse with 2 codes already in hand. Kang eventually cracks Asher's code using a brute force attack and activates the system. As Kang and his remaining KUF men attempt to escape, Bannon ambushes and kills all of them except Kang. As Asher is shot, Bannon confronts engaging hand-to-hand combat with Kang. It's a great name, by the way. Asher momentarily distracts Kang, allowing Bannon to kill him. After Asher informs Bannon about Cerberus, Bannon disables it with the assistance of Trumbull and his staff. Bannon escorts Asher out of the White House to receive medical attention. Afterwards, Bannon is reappointed to the head of the President's security detail as Asher speaks about the aftermath of the attack. Gerard Butler, who plays the main hero in it, of course. I would say it's Die Hard in the White House, of course. This film is really good. Really good. Stars Gerard Butler, Aaron Eckhart and Morgan Freeman. Now this film I've seen quite a few times now, but I remember watched it on Blu-ray years ago. Now I've got it on 4K now, it's even better. I was sitting there going, whoa, I can't wait for this. They've got to make a sequel to that film, and they made a sequel later on, which I really enjoyed. But the first one is a classic, it is action-packed. It's good, decent. It's a fun movie. The film is fun. It's like Die Hard. It's a fun action movie that it's just a fun movie. Gerard Butler makes a good hero. I think he does a better job with these films than these comedies that his son does. I've seen it like a comedy, I'm like, no, I'd rather see him in a thriller because I think he's more effective in a thriller. He's got that intensity about his performance. When he does a comedy, I'm just sitting there going, oh, okay, whatever. But he's got more intensity and he's a good actor. And Law-Abiding Citizen, that is a great movie. He's a good actor. I do like his acting, I like his character. Gerard Butler, Morgan Freeman's great. Aaron Eckhart, who plays the president, he's a fantastic actor too. He's a great actor. I like the fact he's in the second one too, but I don't like the fact he's not in the third one, which I think is a bit of a bummer. But anyway, the first one is it's 2013 film. I can't believe it's like 8 years old now. So crazy. I like the action. I like the story. It's a simplistic kind of like story about terrorists attacking the White House. Like I said, they made another one after that, White House Down, which I thought was a good film. I think this is more fun though. Really fun movie. Good action scenes. Maybe certain special effects don't look the best, certain parts, but it's a good movie. It's like it's a movie that I could watch again and again. It's a fun movie. If you like action thrillers, it's perfect. But I genuinely do like this movie. I really, it's one of those movies. I remember watching it the first time. I thought that film was so fun as heck to watch. So fun. You just have a fun time watching it. It's got action, it's got violence, you know. So I'm sitting there going, this film is so good. And the film's kind of when I first watched, I thought, oh my god. And it's kind of like a Trojan horse too, where you got these terrorists who are attacking the White House, and then they get taken down to this like security, this security place, like a bunker. And then something happens in the bunker where they actually, some of the characters, you know, the security whatever is men attack them, and they're part of the, you know, ruse. And I was thinking, Jesus Christ, I wasn't expecting that. And the film is so good. So yeah, okay, so I'm gonna cut this. It's just a quick review. So what I disliked about it, nothing real. I didn't dislike anything about it. It's a film that I would watch again and again. I've watched it again and again. I've seen it quite a few times now. What I like about it, I like the characters in it. I like the villain in it. He's got a great name called Kang. He sounds like a villain, you know, Kang. And he's been in films like James Bond. I don't think he's aged that bad. He looks about the same age as when he was James Bond. It's weird. Well, he makes it quite an intimidating villain in it. He's a good villain. He's got good moves too. He can do a bit of martial arts. And Gerard Butler he does a really good job. It makes a good hero, like a total badass. Great moves, good fighting, hand-to-hand combat, good action, good gun control, taking out the terrorists and stuff, villains and stuff. And he makes a likable hero in it. You can believe that he's actually a badass who can take out his guys. He's outnumbered. He's got a bunch of, you know, he's completely outnumbered in the White House. And then you got Finger's character, Aaron Eckhart, who plays the president. He actually does a good job as the president. He's a good actor. I liked him in the Batman movie, the Dark Knight. Great actor in that. Such a good actor though. Such a really good actor. And I can see him playing the president. He makes a good president. Anyway, so yeah. So the rating I'm going to give this film is a 4 out of 5. No, actually, no. I give it a 4.5 out of 5. I don't know, I feel it's better than 4 out of 5 film. So 4.5 out of 5 for Olympus Has Fallen. It's such a good film. Like I say, it's such a fun movie. I watched it all night. I just thought that film was so good. It's 2 hours, just under 2 hours, but just right. So yeah, I reckon it was 2.5 hours. It's such a good film. So 4.5 out of 5 for Olympus Has Fallen. Right, my second review is London Has Fallen. Just to watch this tonight, and what a bloody movie it was. Action all the way. Gerard Butler is back, of course. Aaron Eckhart and Morgan Freeman, of course. And it's directed by... Who's it directed by? So anyway, let's come back to that a bit. Okay, so it's directed... It made like... So the budget of 60 million, which is actually did cheaper than the first one. The first one was 70 million. So this was cheaper, but it made a box office of $205.9 million at the box office. So it did actually better than the first film, and the first film did pretty well. But this was a lower budget film. Directed by, who is it directed by? Directed by Babak Najafi. So the plot is... GA Intelligence Services locate arms trafficker and terrorist mastermind Amir Barkwaki at his combat and authorize an US Air Force drone strike during his daughter's wedding, killing Barwaki's family and seemingly Barwaki himself. 2 years later, British Prime Minister James Wilson suddenly dies, and the G7 prepares to attend his funeral in London. Secret Service Director Lynn Jacobs assigns agent Mike Bannon to lead American President Benjamin Ash's overseas security detail, even though Bannon's wife Leah is due to give birth in a few weeks. The entourage arrives. The entourage arrives via Air Force One at Stansted Airport, and Bannon arranges an early arrival at Somerset House in London via Marine One. As Asher's presidential car arrives at St. Paul's Cathedral, a group of mercenaries led by Bacora's son Cameron launch coordinated attacks on the cities disguised as Metropolitan Police. Disguised as Metropolitan Police, the Queen's Guardsmen and other first responders, killing 5 Western leaders, damaging major landmarks and generating mass panic. Asher's early arrival throws off the St. Paul's attack, and Bannon returns him and Jacobs to Marine One. The terrorists destroy the helicopters escorts with Stinger missiles, forcing the damaged helicopter to crash land in Hyde Park. Fatally injured, Jacobs makes Bannon promise to stay alive for his unborn child and punish those responsible for the attack. Bannon escorts Asher into London Underground as the city's power is lost and resident shelters indoors. In Washington, D.C., American Vice President Alan Trumbull investigates the incident and with British authorities while trying to track down the president. He receives a call from Barkawi, still alive, and after all the operations in Sanaa, seeking revenge for the drone strikes that killed his daughter and having poisoned Wilson to lure the G7 London. Barkawi knows Asher is still alive and promises that if Cameron catches him, he will broadcast Asher's execution online. Trumbull orders his staff to locate Barkawi's known operators and find any connection to the attack, while British authorities stand down all first responders to any left in the open can be identified as terrorists. After leaving a sign to be picked up by a satellite, Bannon leaves Asher to an M16 safe house where Agent Jax Marshall briefs them. Marshall receives a voice message from Trumbull that they saw Bannon assign an extraction team to an en route. Security monitors display an approaching Delta Force team, but Bannon realized that they arrived too soon and actually Barkawi's mercenaries. He fights and kills all of them, drives away with Asher, but the car is struck before they can reach the US ambassador, and Asher is taken. Bannon rescued by combined Delta SAS extraction team who suspect him all in the British government. Typical. Trumbull's staff identify a building owned by one of Barkawi's front companies, drawing massive power despite being unoccupied, and realise it is Cameron's headquarters. Bannon joins the extraction team to infiltrate the building, arriving seconds before Cameron can decapitate Asher. Cameron escapes when his hacker soldier Mansour drops the grenade with his dying breath, forcing Bannon to protect Asher from the blast. Bannon and Asher escape just before the building is destroyed by the Delta Force SAS squad, killing Cameron and the remaining terrorists. Marshall and British authorities restores London's security system, and after learning that M15's intelligence chief John Lancaster was Barkawi's mole. What a turd. Marshall kills him when he resists arrest. Trumbull tells Barkawi that his plan fails moments before the US federal authorities attack the building on another drone strike, killing Barkawi and every other member of his terrorized group. 2 weeks later, Bannon is home, spending time with his Leah and their newborn child, Lynn, named after Jacobs. As Bannon compensates, sending a letter of resignation, he watches Trumbull speak on television regarding the recent events with a message that the US will prevail. Inspired, Bannon deletes the letter. Yeah, it's a film that made for $60 million, which was cheaper than the first film. This film is great. I enjoyed it, especially that scene where they're trying to rescue the president. Thing is, you know, the group and all the good guys, and that scene where I thought was really well done. But it's actually a long scene. I mean, I'm pretty sure it wasn't done in one take, but it's still pretty well done. The film is enjoyable. I was sitting there going, this film is certain. The music, oh my god, the music goes with the film. The epic music and stuff. It's fantastic. Is it as good as the first one? I don't think it is, but it's still a damn enjoyable movie. These films are great. I'm glad they just stuck with those 3 films and that's it, because I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing another film, because I watched this film with this thing. What a film it was! A good, a really enjoyable story, cracking action scene, some solid performances from the cast, some good humour too. Thrown in just to, you know, doesn't ruin the scene. It just makes it kind of like funner, and then it's serious again. Yeah, the film was really well done. Yeah, it was made for 60 million. It made like over $200 million. That's pretty. That's how good the first. People, I enjoyed the first one so much. Like they watched it, and let's watch it. You know, I didn't realise they did that pretty well, but it's pretty impressive. 60 million, then made. It was made for 60 million. That's a lot of money, but then it made 200 million. That's quite impressive. Got his money back there straight away. You know, I love that. See, that's one of my favourite scenes, the part where he goes in the building, rescues the president, and this massive explosion, this awesome bit of music in it. I just love this film. The fight scenes are good too, with Gerard Butler's character. You know, where he kills some of the bad guys in it, just, you know, just knife attacks and stuff like that. Like I said, some of the parts, I don't think it was one take. I think it looks like it. They've done it, it looks like it's one take. Certain films have done that better, but still a really well done film. I don't know, I just think it's so dead enjoyable. I just think, what an action movie. Awesome. If you see the film called Children of Men, that scene was done with one take. I was thinking, well, they made it, I don't know if it was actually, I don't know. So yeah, so the one take scene was fantastic. I did enjoy that scene. Loads of action, good fight scenes in it. So yeah, okay, so that's I like to read the plot out a little bit. So the film did pretty well at the box office. Gerard Butler's on form still. It's still great to watch. Like I said before, he makes a better action here than comedy movies. I suppose you have a slight bit of humour in it. In this game, it does work. Morgan Freeman's great, and Eckhart, is it Eckhart? He's great. He's always great in these movies. He's such a great actor, and he makes a good president. That's for sure. So yeah, the rate I'm going to give this film there. So what I didn't like about it. It's a shorter movie than the first one, but it's not a big problem. It's nothing really I disliked about it. I thought the actors did a great job. The music was fantastic. It's got epic music to it. That's what goes well. So yeah. So what I liked about it, I like the characters again. They got the returning characters from the first film. I like the characters in it. I like the action scenes. And it's done with a lower budget at the same time, which is cool. It's good to like save money and at the same time make money. So yeah, made over 200 million. That's not bad. So yeah, so what I liked about it, because there's some things I liked about, like the characters, the villains in it. The villain was kind of like nuts in it, and he's got a reason why he's doing what he's doing. But he's still a villain. He's still evil. He's not a nice guy. But he has his reasons, and he's not a nice guy for it. And they get the arses whipped in the end there. So yeah. By Gerard Butler. So the rate I'm going to give this film is a 4 out of 5, because I did still enjoy it. It's still a damn good solid action movie. So 4 out of 5 for London Has Fallen. Okay, next one. The next review is Angel Has Fallen. This is another action-packed film. So anyway, another action-packed film of the third of the series of Fallen movies. Let's see how much movie this director is directed by this time. Directed by Rick Roman, different director, starring Morgan Freeman, Gerard Butler, and they return as the main, characters in the film. Of course, this time Morgan Freeman is the president. Thing is not in the film this time, which is kind of disappointing. There's a few issues with this film, but not a big problem. But I do kind of go, why did they do that anyway? So the budget was 40 to 80 million, and it made $146.7 million. Not bad. So the film kind of like a smaller budget, like 100 million. I mean, it's still a lot of money, but I have a few issues with this film. I'll get to that in a bit. So that's what the plot is. Okay, Secret Service agent Mike Banning, Gerard Butler, undergoes training at a military facility in Virginia, owned by his former Army Rangers commanding officer Wade Jennings. Daniel Austin, now CEO of private military company Salient Global, is recommended for a position at the Secret Service Director by President Alan Trumbull, Morgan Freeman, to replace retiring Director David Gentry. Lance Reddick, but hides the fact that he suffers from migraines and insomnia and takes painkillers to cope with chronic back pain and previous combat injuries. Not surprising, really. After when you watch the last films, it gets in a bit of a pickle. While Trumbull on a private fishing trip at Queens Lake at Williamsburg, Virginia, a swarm of armed drones attacked and everyone is protection detail, with only Banning surviving and saving the president. Both men are incapacitated. And Banning recovers while Trumbull is left in a coma. FBI Special Agent Helen Thompson, Jada Pickett Smith, is presented with falsified evidence implicated Banning in the attack, leading to his arrest. En route to a detention facility, Banning's transport is ambushed, but he escapes after killing the assailants and masking them as mercenaries from Salient Global, with whom he partook in the training exercise. Realize that Jennings has portrayed and framed him. He calls his wife Leah Piper Parado at. Oh, I think I'm Piper. Oh, it is Piper Parado. Yeah, so she was in this other film. Anyway, so Piper. She's really, his wife's gorgeous, but they play. I'll get to that in a bit. At a nearby gas station, letting her know he is alive and determined to expose the real perpetrator. The court alerts the Thompson to his location, as well as alerting two militia men who have also put a bounty on him, forcing Banning to steal the militia's men's 10-wheeler truck, leading to a car chase by a number of police officers. Banning escapes after crashing the truck and reaches his father's cabin at the backwoods of Whitehall, West Virginia. At the White House, Vice President Martin Kirby, Tim Blake Nelson, now acting president, reveals to the press that Banning is responsible for the assassination attempt, but with support from a Russian government. Banning and his father, Nick Nolte. I like Nick Nolte. He's great in this movie, by the way. He's great. Observe salient mercenaries. They observe salient mercenaries approaching the house on a surveillance cameras. Clay detonates multiple explosives around the perimeter, killing would-be attackers as he and his Banning escape. Splitting up, Clay saves Leah and Lynn from a kidnapping attempt, finding the bodies of Jennings' gunmen lined up against Clay's cabin. Thompson deduced that Banning was framed. Trumbull awakens from his coma, and Kirby is revealed to be Jennings' secret co-conspirator, planning to retaliate for Trumbull's attempted assassination by clearing Cold War II. Thompson and another agent, Ramirez, Joseph Milson, meet Jennings on an airfield, but Jennings kills them both. That scene was a bit of a surprise when I watched it the first time. I was like, Jesus Christ. Banning reaches the hospital and gives himself up, but Trumbull orders his release. Banning leaves Trumbull to safety with the help from Gentry and other loyal agents, as let Jennings' mercenaries destroy the hospital's ICU by increasing the oxygen nitrogen rise to unstable levels, causing a massive explosion that levels the hospital. Bannon hires Trumbull and Gentry as Jennings' men pursue them. In an extended gun battle, Salient Global kills most of Trumbull's security detail, but Bannon ambushes flanking attempt and forces the mercenaries to retreat after the government reinforcements arrive. A handful of them, led by Jennings, are gathering on the roof backs to escape in a helicopter, while Bannon blows up the helicopter with the grenade launcher. Only Jennings survives the explosion, leaving the two men to fight in hand-to-hand combat. The battle ends with Bannon fatally stabbing Jennings. The remainder of Jennings' men are either killed in the firefight or arrested by the US federal law enforcement. Bannon is exonerated while Trumbull and Gentry's arrest Kirby for treason and corruption, revealing that Jennings had kept detailed record of Kirby's involvement in an insurance policy, in which he was uncovered by Thompson before he was killed. Clay starts to live with Bannon and his family, feeling guilty of his failure to protect Trumbull and concealing his ailments. Bannon offers his resignation, and Trumbull forgives him and offers Bannon its promotion to Director of Secret Service, which he proudly accepts. So yeah, Nick Nolte's great. He's fantastic. I like him in this film. It's funny, especially when he starts blowing up his fingers, man. Really fun. Now, like I said, I have a few issues with this film. Some of it has some kind of dodgy effects. You can tell certain parts are green screen. I suppose the other film kind of add moments like that, but this you can actually see it more, like the smoke and stuff. And when they're running against the smoke, you can see, like, you can tell it's all green screen. Certain parts. I guess the film isn't perfect, but damn, it's enjoyable. And Nick Nolte is great in this. And there's a scene at the end of the credit. I can't remember seeing this until I watched it again. I went, Jesus Christ. There's a funny scene out there, and I was sitting there when they were in this water thing. Like, it's kind of like a therapy for them both, and it's just funny. It's a funny scene. I enjoyed it. Okay, a few another issues I with the film is the fact that Thing is not in the film. Eckhart's character, who played the president in the last two films, he's not in this film. And the other problem is his wife is a different actress in this. His wife in it is like a different actress, and she's still a very attractive woman. The Piper Parado also. She's still good looking one, very good looking. So yeah, she's a very attractive woman, Piper Parado, really, but it was a bit of a distraction seeing another actress. Even I was like, who's that? Oh, don't tell me they replaced the actress with another actress. Oh god, I hate it when they do that, because you used to because the actress on the first two films, you used to her in those films. I mean, but they just felt like a kind of like, I don't know, it just felt a bit weird seeing another actress. It just felt weird. So yeah. Apart from that, great action scenes. That's the only thing I didn't like about it, is the fact. The only thing I didn't like about it is the certain parts looked a bit green screen. I like certain dodgy effects. Replacing characters, not returning characters, which is a bit of a shame. What I liked about it, I like the humour. I like Nick Nolte's character. He's funny, especially the last bit. There's credit. I thought it was funny. Gerard Butler on form again is kicking ass. I like the fact that you can tell he's been in a war. He's got migraines, he's got pains, he's taking painkillers. I think that's cool because it makes his character more human. But still, he still has that. He still has that strength in his character that he can. If he gets attacked, he knows he's going to come out. This is a survivor. But yeah, I really had a blast watching this. Loads of action, good, bit of humour too, which is never a bad thing. And the film, I don't know, how much was it? Some films could cost $1 billion to make. So yeah, how much did it make again? It made 146 million. That's pretty impressive still. And I've actually heard making a sequel to this. Night is Fallen, which I actually like that name. Night Has Fallen, which I like. I like that name. I don't know why it's called that, but it's intriguing. Night Has Fallen. That's what the next one's going to be called, which I'm curious about now. So yeah, these films are great. So yeah. So yeah, the rating I'm going to give this film is a 4 out of 5 again because I really enjoyed it. Nick Nolte is just great in this film. And like I said, I didn't like the certain parts where they replaced the characters and the certain parts looked like green screen and that. You can tell it's like, it looked a bit, you know, some of it looked a bit dodgy effects, but action packed, enjoyable. So 4 out of 5 for Angel Has Fallen. So here's my review of 3 films. Of course, now they're making a 4th one, of course. They have to make a 4th one now because, you know, for me, the film seemed to be quite a success. People seem to enjoy them. So the first one got a 4.5 out of 5, the second one got a 4 out of 5, and the third one gets a 4 out of 5 too. So really enjoyed the 3 films. The first one I still think is my favourite, the second one and the third one, but the third one is still really enjoyable. So anyway, people when they go off now, remember to subscribe to the channel. Like I said, 4 out of 5 for Angel Has Fallen, a really enjoyable film. If you like action movies and all, if you like the Die Hard movies, you know, whatever. So yeah, I'm going to go off now. Meet people. Have a nice day. Have a nice week. Take care of yourself. Have a nice day. Have a nice week. And Retribution Has Fallen. See you later. Bye.